Good morning, Captain Awesome. It's Ainsley here for your daily adventure first. So today I want to talk about losing your edge and how this can happen. It happens a lot to all of us at different times in our lives. And so when you lose your edge, well, it can be a number of reasons. Obviously, it can be from like something bad happening to you, or some kind of heartbreak or loss, or just getting life just throwing shit at you basically, and you don't know what to do, and suddenly you feel like you're on the back foot and you've lost your power. And so this can come from the way you're thinking about the thing. It's not the actual thing, it's your perception towards the thing and yourself in relation to that. For example, when I was date coaching with the guys, a lot of them had lost their edge. And they'd be like, I don't know what happened. I used to be really great with women, really confident, and I just don't know. But it all comes from being too cognitive. It all comes from being too much up here and not enough in the action taking. And so when you think too much, that's what makes you lose your edge. And this is like the overthinking thing is not a good thing, because that's the biggest saboteur, is that when you overthink that's the block, that's the thing stopping you from getting whatever you want. And so you need to do some work on yourself to get clarity around what it is, what self-belief, what negative belief have you got, or limiting belief have you got going on in your head that's stopping you from moving forward and from taking the action and getting out of your head and into your body and doing the thing. Sorry, I'm just moving so she can put the cushion on this. Yeah, and so it's not, there's nothing wrong with you. It's just based on what you're thinking at that moment in time. It's just based on what you've got going on in your head and your feelings of being a failure or not being good enough, or not doing anything about it, like only moaning about it and talking about the problem and focusing on the problem and analysing the problem and assessing the problem and evaluating the problem and poking and prodding the problem. Problem with the problem is focus on the problem. That's what it is. And so while you keep focusing on the problem, it will always remain as that. And so this is about focusing on what you want instead of what you don't want. And it takes practice. Like, it takes a lot of practice and conscious practice every single day to continuously focus on what you do want. Now, for the kind of lifestyle, if you want this lifestyle that I'm living, then in order to do that, you've got to focus on what you want instead of telling yourself you can't do it, you can't have it, you don't have enough money. Sorry, getting distracted by all these locusts flying around. They're pretty awesome. They're massive. As you just saw, that was a small one. Yeah, and so as long as you give the problem life, then that's what it'll be. Whereas if you give the solution life, then that's what it'll be. And so get really clear about that. Like, you've lost your edge because you're lacking clarity, you're lacking understanding of why you're doing what you're doing, and so you need to dig underneath. Like, one simple, easy question, and I've said this in videos before, is to make the statement of, like, I'm scared of quitting my job, or I'm scared of starting a business, and then say, what's underneath that? What's underneath that? What's underneath that? And just keep asking that question until you get to the root reason. And sometimes you need to go dig deeper again in a few days' time or a week's time. It takes practice, it takes time. But when you get that, then it becomes so much easier to deal with, because then you're like, oh, now I know why it's a problem. Like, I see people, and I've done it myself, walk around for years and years and years and years focusing on a fucking problem that was like, I've got a friend that's still focusing on a problem from 10 friggin' years ago. And it's alive because she's making it alive. She's giving it life. And so it just becomes yawn-inducing when you get sick of hearing the same shit over and over again. And so you're doing the same thing to yourself every time you give it any kind of energy and thought and focus. So that's it for today. Now, if you haven't already joined the Escape Army on Facebook, all you need to do is go to ainsleym.com, ainsleym.com, and there's a big yellow banner. Click on that button, enter the group, and in there, I'm going to inspire you, motivate you, cajole you, harass you to start creating a fucking epic life so you can get out here like me and live in amazing places like this and get out here and play, because the world is waiting for you.